Say go when you're ready. I'll go. Go? Okay. All right. So today what we're going to try to look at, if this cat doesn't get in the way, is multiplying in base 6. Now, and also dividing in base 6. Now, typically we multiply and divide in base 10. So for here, I want to give you an example of multiplying in base 10. Well, if we have 352 times 41, essentially what we do is we take this 1 here in this one place and multiply it with first the 2. 1 times 2 being a 2. 1 times 5 being a 5, and 1 times 3 being a 3. So then once we do that, we go to the next place. But that means we have to put a 0 in the placeholder and then go along with that. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 5 is actually 20. So what happens is that we would put a 0 here and the 2 here. And we're going to add this to this part. 4 times 3 would be 12, but then we add the other 2, which would be 14, and we place that here. Then we just combine all terms. 2 plus 0 is 2. 5 plus 8 is 13. We put a 3 here. We'll put a 1 for the remainder. 1 plus 3 plus 0 would be 4. Then we drop down these 2. And our final answer would be 14,432. Now, in base 6, we don't have all the numbers. If you remember, in base 6, we're only going to be using the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are the only 6 numbers we'll use in base 6, and it tends to work the same way. For instance, 1 times 2 will still be 2. 1 times 5 is still 5, and 1 times 3 is 3. The same step kind of happened there. Once again, we kind of put this placeholder down, move over for the next one. Now, here's where things get different. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 is not a legal number in our basic system. So there's 2 ways to try to calculate this. One way is to count in and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to here, 6, 7, 8. If you notice, we went 1 full rotation and landed at 2, which would give us a 12. Or you could think about 6 goes into 8 one time with a remainder of 2. So we'd put the 2 here and then put the 1 over the next part. Then we continue. The 4 times 5, which would be 20, plus 1 is 21. Once again, 21 is not a legal number in the base 6 system. So 6 can go into 21 3 times with a remainder of 3. So we'll put the 3 here and the 3 here. 4 times 3 is 12. We add this and we get 15. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15, once again, is an illegal number. So what happens is 6 can go into 15 2 times with 12 with a remainder of 3. So it should be 23. Then we're going to add these. Remember, we have a base of 6. So 2 plus 0 is 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 doesn't work in this system. So that actually becomes, if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It would give us 11. So it'd be 1, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 7 again. So it'd be the same thing, 1 and a 1 remainder. 1 plus 3 is 4, and 2 would drop down. So if we multiply 352 base 6 times 41 base 6, we get 24,112 base 6. Now, looking at it in terms of division. Well, 513 divided by 4 in base 10 goes like this. We take our 4 and try to divide it into 513. What we try to do first is take this number and see if we can go into the first number. Well, in this case, it can. 4 is smaller than 5. So then we place this 4 down here. How many 4s did it take to get us into this 5? 1. Then we subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Then we reevaluate. Can 4 go into 1? No. So that means we have to drop down this number and we get 11. 4 can go into 11. How many times does 4 go into 11? 2 times, which gives us the number 8. Well, 11 minus 8 would be 3. 4 can't go into 3, so we're going to drop down this 3 and becomes 33. Well, the closest thing that 4 can get into 33 is the number 32. 4 times 8 would give us 32. So then we subtract these and we get a remainder of 1. So in this situation, we'd have 128 with a remainder of 1 in base 10. And base 6 is a little bit different. Once again, we have our base 6 system. base 6, which meaning that we can only use the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, what's helpful for any of these base systems is kind of taking your multiples of something. Because we're using the smaller number 4, we're going to try to multiply that number and see all the common factors of this with that 4. So let's start with 4 base 6 times the first number, which is 1 base 6. Well, 4 times 1 is 4, so it just becomes 4 base 6. Nothing changes. Now let's try 4 base 6 times 2 base 6. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 once again is a legal number. How many times does 6 go into 8? 1 time with a remainder of 2. That's how we get this 12 base 6. We'll do the next one. 4 base 6 times 3 base 6. 4 times 3 is going to be 12. Well, how many times does 6 go into 12? 2 times with a remainder of 0 base 6. Keep going. 4 base 6 times 4 base 6, which is 16. 6 goes into 16 2 times with a remainder of 4 base 6. Last one is 4 base 6 times 5 base 6, which is going to be 20. Well, 6 can go into that 3 times the remainder of 2, so that'd be base 6. And then these are all the pieces we're going to use. Now, let's put this together. We're going to start off the same. We have 4 base 6 divided by 513 base 6. We do the same process. 4 can go into 5 one time with 4 base 6, if you look at it right there. Then we just subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Well, once again, 4 can't go into 1, so what's going to happen is we're going to drop down this 1 like so. 4 can go into 11. Well, if you notice, 11 is in between these two numbers, so we can't put in this 12 base 6, so we're going to have to use 4 base 6 again, and that was 1, so it can only go into it one time with a 4. Now, here's a special occasion. What happens is, if we look at this number is smaller than this one. So what happens is that we're going to try to make this one bigger. But to do that, we're going to have to steal from this one and turn it into a 0. Now, in a normal base 10 system, we would add 10 to this one, making 11. But because base 6, we're actually going to have to add 6. 1 plus 6 is 7. So essentially, we're going to take 7 minus 4, which will be 3. Lastly, 4 can't go into 3, so we have to drop down this last 3, which becomes 33. In our 4 base system, the closest we get is this 32, which is 5 times. So 4 base 6 can go into 33 5 times with 32. These subtract, and we get a remainder of 1. So in this situation, it would be 115, remainder 1, in our base 6 system. And that's it.